evening. A potential turning point in the fight against cancer. Medical experts say Moderna's mRNA vaccine could fundamentally reshape treatment. The company announced the results of its late-stage trial yesterday and said its vaccine reduced the risk of melanoma, both returning and spreading, when combined with Merck's Keytruda. The chief medical officer, the CMO at the American Society of Clinical Oncology, called it a monumental leap forward. Melanoma expert Ryan Sullivan said indeed it was a big deal for the field in general. Now, Moderna's shares today, they gave back some of Wednesday's extraordinary gains. They were 25% lower, although, to be fair, there were certain short sell reasons, or there was a squeeze that took place in the market yesterday that did influence the way the shares were trading. But the shares have more than doubled in value since the trial results were released. Noubar Afeyan is the co-founder and chairman of the company, Moderna. He's not yet spoken publicly. Sir, it's good to see you. Good to see you again. Thank you for giving us the honor and the privilege of speaking to us first. I guess, when did they tell you, Chairman, we think we've got not just a winner, but a big winner?
Well, Richard, thanks for having me on again. A few days before the main announcement, a short period of time before, when the company received the information from the trial oversight group, is when I learned, and I must say it was a déjà vu moment in the sense that we had a similar moment some roughly 6 years ago when the technology was directed in a very different place, which was a COVID-19 vaccine, and we had some pretty exciting data. It really did feel like that, although here the pandemic, if you can call it that, we're talking about is serious cancer.
So what do you, we talked about this story yesterday, but I couldn't quite get my head around, not being a medical man, the significance of what this is going to treat, the range of melanomas, the fact that this is going to prevent a repetition of it. So how big do you believe this is going to be?
Look, when you're talking about a serious disease, you always want to be measured in what this could do. But I think the data that we have from the phase 2 studies, which have been now followed for 5 years already, indicates an improvement in both of these risk scores, both for risk-free survival and disease metastasis-free, are significant 5 years out. And it's to the tune of 45–50% improvement over what is already the gold standard, which is Keytruda. And so when you combine both of these medicines, you start reducing the impact of the disease by north of 60–70%. That's a major difference in patients' lives. Now, the phase 3 trial, for which we have not yet released any specific data, but we did say that the trial on an interim early analysis already met its top line and secondary results. That is a much larger trial, and it was in resected stage 2B to 4 melanoma. These are metastasized in many cases. And so that is a broader group, but also I think quite indicative of the potential for this approach.
For Moderna, the general consensus seems to be this moves the company from, if you will, a vaccine, if you will, to put it crudely, company into the blockbuster pharma category. Now, I understand, sir, that that's not your goal, and I understand that Moderna's goal is much more to do with the treatment of serious illnesses. But if this follows through, you do become a mega player with a blockbuster drug.
Well, look, Richard, the interesting thing, since you've known the company for a while, and even before COVID, is that we were working on a immunotherapy, effectively what people call a vaccine against cancer, for now 10 years. So before COVID existed, and before we were working on additional infectious diseases, we set out to use the body's own immune system to combat cancer. It's just that the road to prove it, and as definitively as we believe our phase 3 results will be, is a long one. And so we've actually ironically gone from being a cancer-focused company to an infectious disease-focused one, and now back to both.
Do you believe that society, this is a tougher question, can afford the drug, in a sense that the ability to tailor it to a patient, healthcare budgets, whether it's national health or insurance, that there will, that how are you going to ensure this isn't a benefit for the privileged few?
You know, this is a program that we're doing together with Merck, and Merck is really, by many measures, a leader in immunotherapy with its drug Keytruda that has had a profound impact on health economics as well as just health of many patients. And they are a quite experienced company as it relates to access, as it relates to how to position this program. And this will be another significant boost over what Keytruda alone has been able to do. So our intention is to get it available broadly. By the way, we're doing multiple additional late-stage clinical trials in other cancer types. We hope and expect that the data already this year and into next year will come out, indicating that this is not specific only to melanoma. And as we do so, and as the medicine becomes available, despite the fact that it is an individualized treatment, we think that we can make it available broadly and reach the impact that we designed this drug to have.
Because that's crucial, isn't it? Finally, so what's your next? I mean, where do you take Moderna next? You've just sort of given me an idea from, if you will, vaccines, oncology, through to infectious diseases. The moment I hear infectious diseases, I start thinking about the potential for, say, HIV, which is one of the most difficult infectious diseases. Yes, people can be kept alive for many years on antiretrovirals, but if you can go one stage further and clear the infection from the body, now you're talking a different kettle of fish.
Look, I think, Richard, one of the many things were hurt by COVID pandemic. The one thing that was helped is the amount we learned about our immune system across billions of people on the planet. And that knowledge is now feeding into making more and more potent immunotherapies and, for that matter, vaccines. And I think that boost, coupled with AI, artificial intelligence, that's now able to take data and convert it into much more informed decisions, I do think that many infectious conditions, as well as cancer and even autoimmune disease, will be battled with our newfound understanding and our ability to direct our immune system, which is a unique attribute of mRNA medicine. So we're very excited, and we're at the beginning stages of this.
One final thought from you, sir. When you see your share price almost double overnight, does it give you a rise? I mean, obviously, as an investor, you're glad by the gains, but does it give you a wry smile?
You know, as you said in the beginning, there's a lot of people who historically bet against Moderna, and they were right some of the time, and they were wrong other times. And our job is to note with interest what the stock price does, but put our heads down as a team of over 5,000 people and do what we know how to do, which is to invent and take medicines to market. And that was an exciting day yesterday to see that reach a milestone.
And yesterday, those people who bet against you certainly got burnt and had to move very quickly. I'm glad to see you, sir. Always good to talk to you. Thank you for giving me time tonight.
Very good to see you, Richard.